Okay, so we are drawing a picture of forms that are shaded, and we're doing the cylinder, the cone, and the sphere. And then we're also making it look like they're resting on a table, and we're going to be using shading. So what I've done is I have traced out my three shapes. So I've got my cylinder, and then my cone, and then my circle for my sphere is a little higher up. So if you don't have tracers, you're just going to have to draw them out. So you can see the cylinder is just curved like a rectangle, but then curved at the top and the bottom. And then the cone is a triangle, but then curved at the bottom. And then the sphere is basically just a circle. So I'm going to go maybe a little bit higher than about halfway up my circle. And then I'm going to make a line as though the table is behind the circle. All right, and I can even shade that in a little bit. So I'm gonna actually start with my cylinder here, and I'm gonna curve off the top here. So it's going to look more like an oval. Okay, and then I'm going to shade on the sides. So the shading gives it the illusion of 3 dimensions. So I press hard with my pencil at the edges, and then as I get toward the center of the cylinder, I press lighter. So I have a dark, and then a medium, and then light. Dark, medium, light. So I'm pressing harder with my pencil, and then lighter with my pencil. Harder with my pencil, lighter with my pencil. Okay, I do the same thing at the other edge. Darker. And then as I get towards the center, I go lighter. So dark, medium, light. Pressing hard at the edge, lighter as I get towards the center. Hard at the edge, lighter towards the center. Okay, and then also I can use my finger to blend a little bit. Okay, and I can even use my eraser if I really want to make that center very white looking. Okay. A little bit there. Okay, and then underneath I have a shadow. So just pressing dark along the bottom. Maybe more of a medium as I get around the edge here. Okay, and then I do the same kind of thing. The top I just leave white. Okay, because that's where the light is coming from. So same kind of thing along my triangle or my cone. dark on the edge, then medium, and then light. Okay, dark along this edge. And medium. And light. Needed to fill in a little more medium here. All right, and then again underneath I've got my shadow. All right, and again I can blend a little bit with my finger. Maybe take a little off with my eraser. I just don't want to mess it up with my fingers too much. Okay, last one for my sphere. So I have to follow along my whole edge here. All right, dark, pressing hard. And then more of a medium. And then lighter as I get towards the center of my circle. And again, I can blend a little bit. And then my shadow underneath. All right, and then like I said, a little bit of shading from the table, edge, so dark at the edge, and then just a little bit of medium and light coming forward. All right, so good luck with yours. Hope it turns out just wonderfully for you.